This is the Rose Garden at the White House. You've probably seen it on TV 1,000 times. The White House has another garden that's way more private, though. The East or Jacqueline Kennedy Garden, which was designed in the early 60s by Kennedy and Rachel Lambert Mellon. But before the Jacqueline Kennedy Garden, there was another garden in its place. The White House Historical Association described it as a, quote, haven of ivy evergreens and lawns surrounding a rectangular lily pool and 4 L-shaped parterres. And we also know that it drew on native flora, as well as the heritage of European gardens, impressionist color theories, and the botanical knowledge of modern gardeners. But in a few months in the 1960s, it was wiped off the map. The garden was by Beatrix Farrand. Beatrix Farrand was born in New York City in 1872 to Mary Cadwallader Rawle and Frederick Rhinelander Jones. Have you ever heard the phrase, keeping up with the Joneses? Yeah, it's the same idiom that the Kardashian show references, and it came into being with an old comic strip, which lots of people thought was referencing Farrand's family. The New York Joneses were one of the famous 400, the best placed families in New York City society. Showing an interest in horticulture as a young woman, Trix went to study with botanist Charles Sprague Sargent at Harvard's Arnold Arboretum. In 1895, Farrand went on an eye-popping journey through Europe, where she was able to check out all the latest trends in garden design, from the grand symmetry of classical Italian and French grand manner gardens to the picturesque landscape gardens from the English tradition. But most importantly, she came into contact with the ideas of English gardener Gertrude Jekyll. Jekyll is remembered today for 2 main innovations. First, using the color theories of Michel-Eugène Chevreul in her gardens, just like the Impressionists were doing in painting. And second, popularizing complex naturalistic arrangements of hardy plants that would look beautiful year-round. For Farrand, it was a revelation. Here was a way of combining botanical knowledge she'd accrued at Harvard with avant-garde artistic inspiration. Turning pro, Farrand's Jekyll-esque gardening style quickly caught the eye of an upper crust that was keen to enliven the Gilded Age with color and comfort, as well as colleges and universities across the country. By the time Keeping Up with the Joneses began rolling off the presses, Farrand was working with none other than the First Lady. Their August 1913 plan for the East Garden included ivy borders, blended flower beds of Darwin tulips, forget-me-nots, larkspurs, sweet William, candy tufts, as well as accents of Irish yew trees and other evergreens. The scheme combined formalist elements like those seen in gardens by Reginald Blomfield with the progressive style of designers like Jekyll and William Robinson. Ellen Wilson died in 1914, and the project was finished by her successor, First Lady Edith Wilson, in 1916. Recent events at the White House have underlined the precarity of many of its features. With each administration, the drapes, paint colors, furniture, and other elements might be altered. And the grounds are subject to even more drastic and permanent changes. The reflecting pool, the centerpiece of Beatrix Farrand's East Garden, was removed during the Eisenhower administration. And just like that, a few years after Farrand's death in 1959, Jacqueline Kennedy partnered with Bunny Mellon to create today's East Garden. But don't fade Farrand's influence. In fact, Bunny Mellon's replacement garden at the White House was described as making use of, quote, subtle palettes of colors in the Impressionist tradition of the landscape architect Beatrix Jones Farrand.